Hey everyone! You remember, I want to do this live today to talk about the steps I use to make real and lasting change in my life. And this is something I've synthesized a lot of information that I have been going through because this is something that I've really wanted to do in my life for years. I've been, trying to make changes in health and how I go about relationships, and especially now with being married, I really want to focus on making that relationship strong. And so I've come to this conclusion where I've found some steps that have really worked for me to help make lasting change. And so I'm going to share them with you today. And if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, don't worry about it. I'm posting it later on my Facebook profile, so you can come back and watch it, the rest of it then. But to start out, the first step to make lasting change is that you need to make the change that you desire a must. So we all have shoulds in our lives. If you think about it, we all should eat healthier. We all should exercise. We all should spend more time with our family or with our spouse. We should spend more time to increase our spirituality, our connection with God. But we're never going to get our shoulds. There's just not enough time for shoulds. We only get our musts. So how do you make something a must? Because you may be thinking, and I know I've done this in my life too, where especially with health, that I'll think, well, yeah, this is a must. I want to feel healthy. I'm sick and tired of eating this way or not exercising. But if you're not making the change, it's not a must. At least not a. So this is how you make it a must. The first way that you can make it a must is that you reach threshold. And threshold is when you're going along, you're not changing, and as you're not change, you're building up this pain and discomfort till you get to a moment where you say, enough. That's it. I have to make a change. And this has happened in my life. I remember, yeah, with diet, that there'd been enough days of just eating crap, and over the years too, and finally one night I just felt terrible and I was like, that is it. Tomorrow this changes. And it did. For 30 days after that, I would consistently ate healthy and completely changed my whole diet. So this is reaching threshold is something that can just happen naturally over the course of that pain building up, and then finally you making a decision to change. And you have to remember, people will say, like, it took me 5 years to get to this point to change. It took them 5 years to build up enough pain, but it only took them a moment to decide to change. And we can make threshold come quicker into our lives by choosing not to rationalize the truth of the situation or choosing not to soften the truth. And I'm as guilty of this as anyone else. You think, I'll just do it tomorrow, or we're getting together with friends, it's a party, I can eat healthy later. Or in relationships, every couple has their struggles. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. But the more we rationalize, the more we soften the truth, then we don't ever reach threshold when it becomes a must to change. So keep that in mind. Don't rationalize, don't soften the truth. Another way that we can make change a must is to get disturbed. And this is a way that we can speed up that process to threshold. And so we get disturbed by being completely honest with ourselves. And one way to do this, and this is kind of a fun, interesting exercise that I've done, is to think about all the pain that you'll have if you don't make the change. And I know this sounds kind of funny because it's not often we want to think about the pain that we'll have. But the point is not to stay in that feeling of pain, but to use the feeling of pain to drive us, to motivate us. And so I did this exercise just thinking about my relationship with my husband. If I don't change the way that I think, if I don't change the way that I respond to him, if I don't change the way that we communicate, What what will that cost me? 1 year, 5 years down the line, what will that cost our relationship? What pain will we have? And as I wrote that down and focused on that, I used it to motivate me because I don't want that pain. I don't want to have to pay that cost. And so it disturbed me enough to make this a must. That I must change how I think about my relationship, how I respond, and how I communicate. And another way that you can disturb yourself to build that must drive is to spend time with people who have what you want, who've achieved what you want. So for example, I love playing racquetball. If I want to get better at racquetball, then I need to play with people who are better. And yeah, at the beginning, that's going to be painful. It's not going to feel good to lose, but I cannot get better by playing with people who aren't as good as me. Yeah, that'll make me feel good, but I'm not getting better. I'm not taking my skills to the next level. I'm not, living up to that potential. So the same thing applies in our areas. If you want to improve your relationships, spend time with people who have good relationships. If you want to improve your health, spend time with people who are taking care of their health. If you want to increase your spirituality and connection with God, spend time with people who have a strong connection with God and a high level of spirituality. Same with finances and whatever area in your life that you want to change. Find people that you can spend time with who have what you want. And that can be friends, family, podcasts, literature. There's all different areas where you can spend that time with those people. Then the final area that'll help you get leverage on yourself and make your change a must is to create hunger in yourself. We don't go after anything unless we have a hunger for it. I love that word. Just like, I mean, if you think about when you're just like physically hungry, what will you do for food? You have such an immense drive to get food. So if you have a hunger to improve your health, if you have a hunger to improve your relationships or your financial status, or just the happiness that you have in your life or your relationship with your kids, then you'll figure out a way how to do it. And so that hunger comes from having a deep purpose, having a solid why. So if you have a desire to change your health, to be healthier, to look healthier, if your purpose is just that you can fit into some clothes that you once fit into or to look better this summer, that may be a powerful enough why to get you to make that change for the short term. But is that a powerful enough why to make lasting change, long-term change? So think about your whys, think about your purpose. For me, I know my purpose, what motivates me to eat healthy and to exercise every day, is my why of I want energy every day to be able to serve people better, to enjoy life better, and every moment. I want to have energy for when I become a mother, that I can play with my children, interact with my children, and just give them the most. I want to be able to give everything to Ryan as well, and then as I get older, I want to be an energetic grandmother. I want to be there for my grandkids. And so that is a powerful enough why for me to be able to push through those little day-to-day moments where I may, face the obstacles to keep me from making healthy choices, to keep me from exercising. But I have a powerful enough why that fuels my hunger to make this change and to make it real and lasting. So that was kind of an intense one. That was just the first step. How do you make real lasting change? First, you gotta make it a must. You gotta get that leverage on yourself. So reach threshold, get disturbed, spend time with people who have what you want, and create a hunger. Know your why. Make it a deep purpose for why you want this. Okay, so that was making it a must. The number 2 to how to make real lasting change is be diligent and wise. And I like this one. Another way to word this one is to take massive action, but be flexible with how it happens. So this one I've had a lot of experience with recently because I have these great goals and I'm just gung-ho about them and I'm going all for it, and then I just am not seeing the results that I want. And I realized, yeah, okay, I'm being diligent. I got that down. But the wise part, or the being flexible in the how, this this is where we need to remember, I need to remember, all of us, we're learning a new skill. When you're making a change in your life, you are learning a new skill. So you got to be patient with yourself. And it's important to make your progress measurable. So for example, I have, a goal to be healthy and to, be able to run a certain distance, and that's not going to happen in 1 week. And so if I go, for a month just constantly thinking of this goal, for example, a half marathon, I want to run half marathon, and all this time I'm running 4 miles or 3 miles, then I get discouraged because I'm not running the 13 miles that I want. That doesn't help me to make the change, and it doesn't help me to keep progressing towards that goal. So, and I use this example, but try and relate it to yourself. We got to have that long-term vision of what we want in the future. Envision that perfect relationship, envision the perfect job, envision what perfect health looks to you. But remember that we need to be patient, and that there is a proper flow and order to things. And in order to get there, we need to find ways to measure our progress in the middle, and to not start out so strong and crazy that we burn ourselves out before we can even create momentum to keep going. And so what I like to do is to just really focus on the power of now. What can I do in this moment to help me progress towards my goal? Because so often I'll just overcomplicate in my head, think about every little step I have to do, or think about just one huge step that I have to do, and then I never take action because I've made it too big in my mind. And so it's important to think about, okay, what can I do in this moment that'll help me get towards my goal? And to just set small incremental goals that will help you measure your progress. One recommendation that I would have for this step is to start by taking at least 15 minutes every morning to just spend some time with yourself. Because one of the main things that we have to change in order to make any change in our life is how we think, our mindset. And so it's important to just start by taking time every morning to be grateful for what you have and where you're at, and then to focus on what you want to accomplish that day, and to put into your mind the thoughts that you want to have, because there's so many things coming in social media, news, that will fill our minds if we don't fill our minds first with what we want to think and what will help us progress. So that was the second step. So be diligent and wise. Find ways to measure your progress, and make sure you take small steps. Don't look at the whole picture and say, gosh, that's, I'll never be able to run 13 miles. Well, what can you do today? Can you walk 1 mile? Then go walk 1 mile. And then what can you do next week? Can you walk 2? Then walk 2. Start with what you can do today in this moment. Alright, then the third final step to how to make real lasting change is to change your beliefs. So this one, I love this one, and this one might actually be the hardest step to do, but it's been probably the most fun for me to do, to just get inside my mind and figure out, how can I change how I believe? Because if you believe that you can, or if you believe that you can't, you're right. Whatever you believe is what you will create. And our beliefs control our actions. So it's important for us to really get a hold of what we believe and to change those beliefs if they're not helping us. Because often we focus too much on limiting beliefs or our limitations. And I was pondering about this in my own life, how I've done this, and often I've thought, well, I can't do that. That's not really for me, Someone else may love running 13 miles or a marathon, or other people have really good relationships, or other people have jobs they love, or whatever it may be. Other people have can have perfect health or eat healthy, but that's just not for me, like, so I come up with these excuses, these stories. I make it okay for me to not go after that goal. And why do I want to make it okay? Why do I say that's not for me? Why do I make these excuses? Because I'm afraid of failing. I have this belief that I'm protecting myself from failing. And when I realized this, I realized that I needed to change my belief about failing. Because, you see, I've decided that I only fail when I stop trying. All those steps that I take in between that may not produce the results I want, they're still all steps to make me successful, because I use them to help me learn what I need to do and change to make me successful. But I will never fail if I never stop trying. And so I made this change in my belief. This belief that before I wanted to avoid failure, but now I believe that there is no way for me to fail, because I will continue to keep taking action until I succeed. So the beliefs that we have play a strong role in whether or not we can make changes. And all turnarounds are turnarounds in beliefs. What you believe about yourself, what you believe about what is possible, what you believe about others. All turnarounds are turnarounds in beliefs. And one way that I like to change my beliefs is to think about the person that I will be when I've made this change. So if I think, what would if I was a person that ate healthy and exercised every day and ran half marathon or marathon, if I was a person that had accomplished that, what would I believe? Well, I would believe that, food fuels me. And it's not just there for comfort or to suppress feelings, but that food is fuel. I would believe that my body is incredible and that it can accomplish amazing things. I would believe that exercising is fun. I would believe that I do have the mental strength to do it. And so when you think about that, those beliefs that you would have to have if you were that person that had already accomplished the change that you want to make, you want to start believing those things now. And I know that may seem a little bit hard because you're like, well, I don't have the results. I don't have the proof. Why would I believe that now? But you probably do have the proof. There is probably something in your life that you once thought was impossible that you have now accomplished. Think about that. And what did you do? I believe that we all have had these experiences, small or big. But even if you still don't think it relates, there are things in your life that you know for certain that you can believe in. So look for results that you've had or that you're currently having that can prove this belief that you can make this change, or that you are this person that has made this change. And if you can't find it within yourself, you can look for that belief in other people, because other people have made that change. And if others can do it, then you can do it too. You are no different. You have just as much potential to succeed in these areas of your life as anyone else. And that's why that goes back to the importance of surrounding yourself with people who've made the changes that you want to make as well, because they will help you and motivate you. But yeah, so I just want to end on that last step of changing your belief. We have potential to accomplish anything that we want in our life, and it really does start with our beliefs. Whether we believe that we can or we can't, we're right. So just to go over again the 3 steps to lasting change. Make it a must. If it's not a must, it's not going to happen. Number 2, be diligent and wise. Don't overdo it. Don't be patient with yourself. It's a process. But be diligent and take small steps. Do what you can. What can you do today? Do what you can today. And then 3rd, change your beliefs. So I hope this helped in some way. If you have liked this and want to and just need like a little more help to figure out how you can utilize it in your life, then just send me a message. I'd love to help. I can do a free 1-hour consultation call. We can do a Zoom call and just talk it out and figure out how you can utilize it. And if you want to just watch this again to review it or get the previous steps if you missed them, I'll post it to my Facebook profile later. But thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great Saturday. See ya.